everyone, and welcome to the first ever edition of Tal Talks. I'm Tal, go figure. I'm here with JR and Gypsy from Karnevil, which I absolutely adore. They are some of the nicest people that you will ever meet when you are going to run fairs or steampunk events or any festivals around, and they're just super great people to know and fun people to talk to and hang out with if you get a chance to. It's amazing. I'm trying to think of how I met you guys, and I can't even remember.
It was a cold email.
Okay.
I heard through one of the Sideshow forums from a performer we're friendly with by the name of Mab, just Mab.
Yeah, okay.
Like, hey, Massachusetts Ren Fair needs Sideshow performers, and it's a little far for me to travel. Does anyone want to do that? And I'm like, yes. Me.
Okay, so I owe that to Luke then. Luke is friends with Mav, and he was messaging everyone trying to get Sideshow performances, and then I guess she contacted you. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. She's from my hometown, so.
She's really cool.
Yeah, Mav's good people.
Convince her to come to our fair someday.
I will.
I know it's far. Okay, so I have some questions that maybe you can answer if you feel like it.
No.
I guess that's why we're here. So first and foremost, I'd like to know, would you be able to tell people about your act so they know who, because some people might not know who you are. I mean, maybe a couple still don't know you, but what's your act? Yeah, if people haven't experienced your awesomeness.
Okay, so we are a traditional 10-in-1 style sideshow. Primarily what we do is what's considered
working acts.
Yeah, working acts, thank you. Like the word just fell out of my ear. Yeah, we're what's considered in the sideshow community working acts, meaning we are not natural born freaks. We are not a display. We're not, any of the other things that would be considered part of a sideshow. Everything that we have and do is learned skills, i.e. it's something that we've picked up, decided to learn how to do, and how to do safely so as not to murderlate ourselves in the act. As we were just discussing with one of our magician friends, magicians do things that are seemingly impossible, and they want you to believe that they are doing something impossible, whereas we come from the opposite angle of we're doing something that you'll look at it and you'll think that it's impossible, but we need to convince you that what we're doing is 110% real. Because it is. For instance, I do the human blockhead routine where I pound nails, daggers, and other sharp implements directly into the center of my face. Gypsy has animal traps closing on various parts of her body. She walks on broken glass. She walks on ladders of swords. I get out of straitjackets. I lay down on a bed of nails and have the biggest pokes in the audience come and stand on them. Essentially, yep, our biggest fans. I think the fancy way that Big Papa Jim Rose put it is we are masters of body manipulation and acts of pain tolerance.
Nice. Okay, well, since this is for our Steampunk September edition, our new thing that we're doing with monthly themes, I was wondering, since you guys have done a bunch of steampunk events and are still doing a bunch of steampunk events, how do you interpret steampunk? How do you incorporate it into your act?
As she looks over at me. So when I read this, when you sent us over the questions, my first response is we didn't land on steampunk. Steampunk landed on us.
I know, it's such a hodgepodge kind of thing.
It is. I mean, as far as like how we relate to steampunk, the vast percentage of the stuff that we do was, for the most part, invented or at least popularized in the Victorian era, which the steampunk genre is, for the most part, based off of. So, like P.T. Barnum got his start in the very early Victorian era. Houdini was late Victorian era. Sideshows, dime museums, they really started to crop up and come into their own during what is considered, the inspiration for most steampunk. Since you mostly know us from Ren fairs, you've never been subjected to what we refer to as the PDF of Doom. of hi Cap. This is Cap. Cap is
Hi.
hi. You've never been subjected to our massive PDF of Doom, which is the 30 plus panels, lectures, interactive games.
Hi.
and everything else that we do. We do lectures on Victorian serial killers. We do lectures on weird mechanical weapons of the Old West.
Asylums,
seances, spiritualism, all kinds of, crazy stuff that is very fitting for anything that is supposed to be Victorian era or Victorian adjacent. As far as is how we incorporate steampunk into our act, I mean, if you really need us to, we'll glue some gears on it. But I think by and large, the vast majority of what we have, what we do, and what we offer is already time period, air quotes, appropriate. So it just kind of works.
Now you got me interested in those panels. I gotta check those out.
I can send you the PDF anytime you want.
It's huge.
Do you have a video?
We're adding to it.
Send me a video. All right. So moving on from steampunk, you guys have a very interesting, should I say interesting, exciting form of entertainment that you do. I'm guessing a lot of people are wondering, do you enjoy hurting yourself? Do you have a higher pain tolerance? What got you into this kind of business? It's very different than what most people do.
Okay. It's kind of a mishmash of a couple of different things. Do we enjoy hurting ourselves? No. We, every once in a while, we have a couple of very, very insistent fans that are like, hey, you must be into hurting yourself. No, really, you're into it, right? You're into it, right? Tell me you're into it. Tell me you're into it. Fulfill my fantasy and tell me you're into it. No. Pain hurts us just like every other people. We just, as you mentioned, we just seem to have a slightly higher tolerance for it, as well as just...
we teach ourselves how to do these things properly, so it's not as bad as it could be. If someone tried to dive into this without any kind of training, they'd come out with cuts and bruises and broken stuff, and it wouldn't work well.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's like the animal trap things. There is a big matter of placement and timing as to how it's done. And I mean, when we're up on stage, we try to goof around. I'll lead her around with the chain on the beaver trap.
And it does hurt. It
does hurt. But if it was done wrong, it would really hurt. The way it's done, so the way to do it properly, it hurts less than you'd think, but it still really hurts.
It hurts less than retail.
So my next question is going to be, have you ever actually injured yourself or seriously injured yourself at a gig?
Self?
Or each other, I guess, yeah.
Both
Oh,
is good.
We have done all of those things, and such is the nature of the work. But
it's usually not either of our faults. Sometimes it's weather. Sometimes it's somebody not telling us that their stage has an English tilt.
I don't know, that was just the beginning of it. At some point, my pouch of blockhead material spilled out when I was doing the act. Because of that, I picked up the drill bit off of the pavement where it had fallen. I didn't realize I had to have stepped on it or something. So I put it into the drill and went ahead with the blockhead routine where I insert the drill into my
my God.
And because the drill bit was bent, tore up the inside of my head. So I spent the rest of the day jamming tampons up my nose.
That'll do it.
And no matter what, nothing would staunch the bleeding. Every time I pulled the pack out, it was just about...
Yeah.
Do a thing where I will hold out a piece of target and he'll break it. The wind hit at just the wrong moment. It caught the end of the whip and cracked across my finger and broke it. And I'm like, I've had that feeling before. This is going to hurt really badly in about 5, 4. Yep.
I mean,
we finished the show. We finished the whole show. Luckily, one of our friends was there who was, at the time...
He's a registered nurse and an EMT.
Now he's a doctor.
Now he's a doctor, yeah.
Nice.
He set me up and made sure everything was okay and was like, yeah, don't... He said those immortal words that I never pay attention to, and I really should have, which is don't drink anything. Don't drink any alcohol.
Yeah.
So we
just
go to
take
the after
this.
party.
So we go to the after party. I had 1 glass of wine and 1 rum,
yeah.
and was throwing up for like a day.
Yep.
It was awful.
But yeah, that's why we're always very, like, if we're doing the whip show for anything,
We're very conscious.
I'm always very conscious of the wind. And, you know, sometimes we actually, like, even if it's just a little breezy, we'll have to call it because, you know,
a broken finger is one thing. But we do a bit where
the neck, yeah.
does the cutthroat, and if the wind picks up at the wrong moment at that, I could lose an eye.
Yeah.
Like literally lose it. Like I don't know where it went. So
that's scary.
So yeah, there's been other like minor things. It's, you know, if you've seen the first aid kit we carry around, it's like
it's a caboodle.
it's a caboodle, like
from
big,
the 80s.
You know, we're always prepared for anything that might go wrong, because no matter how careful you are, no matter how well trained you are, you know,
there's always a chance.
Weather happens, mistakes happen. At a different Ren fair, sometimes the stage collapses.
It didn't collapse. A giant sinkhole opened up in the middle and ate your leg.
Oh
my gosh.
We've had the English tilt thing we discovered when I went up the blade ladder, which at the time was our original blade ladder.
Which was much taller.
Oh, no.
So physics being a thing, I got halfway up the blade ladder and felt like it was trying to throw me off into the audience. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, are you drunk? I'm like, I haven't had anything to drink yet. I don't know what's going on. The owner comes up and was like, yeah, what do you think of our stage? We just rebuilt it. It's got a great English tilt. I'm like, son of a bitch. It's an absolutely unnoticeable angle unless you're at the back or on the stage.
Oh, wow.
So after that, we added a marble to our kit. So now whenever we're on a stage we're not familiar with,
that down.
we can set that down.
Oh, look at it go. We're going to set up over there.
Yeah, good idea.
How much weird stuff that we have added
Marble
to
test.
over the years.
You probably have a pack of weird things that no one knows what they're for.
Some of the things we're not sure anymore, but we know they're there for a reason, so we leave them alone.
Yeah, like this has got to come in handy someday.
At some point, someone's going to need this for something.
Is there anything that you would want people to know before seeing your show? Like anything that they should know going into it?
Not for the weak of stomach or heart.
Yeah, what was it Winston in I'm trying to remember, it was an Ernie Hudson line. Hold on to your butts. Trying to remember what movie that was now.
It seems like no matter what preconceived thing people have about us, they always come out of it going, well, that was not what I expected. We're not normal. Even for Sideshow, we're not normal. But we do what we do. And we like, as much as we hate to admit it, we like people.
So, my next part of this, I am going to make everybody who comes onto my funny little Tal Talks do a tongue twister. It's the Marv Tongue Twister Challenge.
Uh-oh.
So, I have not sent it to you ahead of time. I'm going to put it in the chat so that you can look at it right now. And then
Find the chat.
Go ahead and give that tongue twister a go.
Merlin mailed 1 million marvelous marbles to Mab for Mab's Million Marvelous Marbles Market.
Does Mab know she's doing that this year?
That was good. You just looked at it and did it right away.
Alliteration is one of the things I do every once in a while. So
that comes from being the outside talker. Is he just stands there and like throws big words together to draw people in. It's
sometimes they even make sense.
Sometimes they do, yeah.
Can you do it faster?
Faster.
Maybe. I think Gypsy could do it faster.
No, actually, Gypsy can't read without her glasses on. So
I'm going to have to lean in and see if I can get the chat to come back out. There we go. Merlin mailed 1 million marvelous marbles to Mab for Mab's Million Marvelous Marbles Market. Only one flub.
That was great. Wow. You think I need to make it harder?
Yes.
Ooh. All right, that'll be.
You have to say hi to the fairies for us.
Actually, no. Leave it the same so other people can flub it worse and I can feel superior.
Yeah, I gotta leave it the same for a while, and then maybe add some things.
You got to do me a favor and say hi to the fairies for me because I miss them horribly. Especially mustard seed. I need time to like sit and drink fey wine with mustard seed.
Yeah. So she's around, but they all go to the fairy realm and disappear for a while and then come back. You'll see them next year, hopefully. Well, that was fun. I hope that everybody learned a lot of interesting things about some very different people who may not be the run-of-the-mill average person you run into every day. But they're definitely some of my favorite people that I hope that some of you will get to meet at our actual Ren Fair when it is running physically. But they have a lot of fun stuff going on that hopefully they can tell you about now.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the only thing we have coming up other than our live performance as a part of this is we are doing the Victorian Days Festival, which is going to be on September 12th. You just look up Victorian Days on Facebook and you'll be able to find it. Other than that, the only other things, it's really just stuff I'm kind of cooking up right now. I have been talking a lot with Marv's professional wizard, Michael OJ. I have been helping him co-write and design a tabletop RPG that is top secret and in the works. However, there is going to be a live action via Discord version of the game that we are going to be running the second weekend of October. So keep an eye out on the Karnevil Facebook as well as Mike OJ the Magician's Facebook as well for details on how to join in if folks are interested with that. And also Mike and myself after doing a talk on a Zoom talk on Houdini earlier today, we kind of said, hey, we should start a podcast. So stay tuned over the next couple of weeks for a podcast from me and Mr. Michael OJ.
And I'm hopefully going to be doing something online revolving around my art. Not really sure what yet, but I've got friends who are trying to get me to do that thing where like the camera looks at your hands and you do art. And I'm like, I don't know about that. There's going to have to be a lot of booze involved.
Well, it's been super fun talking to you guys. I hope that people will get to see your live performance, which is happening this Sunday. You can tune in at 5 o'clock onto our Facebook page and see the stuff that we have been referring to and talking about. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and talking with us. I hope that you will talk to me again soon and that maybe we will be able to do that in person without covering our faces entirely.
Yeah,
Miss you guys too. Alright, well, have a good night, everybody. This has been Tal Talk.
Bye, everybody.
I mean, you've already told me a bunch of funny stories, but I was going to ask if you have one like specific, really funny, strange story that you want to share of a performance or things that happened on your way to a gig or anything like that.
Beckley.
Oh my God.